10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good afternoon and welcome. This is Dr. Surajit Khanna's Returning Youth radio show. But hey, we're not only on radio, we are also on video on 6 different accounts on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. But the main account, we want you to please join us, and we want you to like us, and we want you to share us on khannaforkids.com. That's KHANNA for kids.com. Khanna for Kids. And we want to just welcome you here because we're on the air on WPAT 9:30 a.m. in the New York area to over 30 million homes. And we're here to talk about Dr. Surajit Khanna's Return to Youth initiative. He is an attorney, a child safety advocate, a servant of the underserved, and a champion of the nonprofit organization, Voice of the Kids. Dr. Khanna also recently launched his Post-Incarceration Juvenile Justice Reformation Act. We call that in short, returningyouth.com, where he is returning post-incarcerated youth back to a productive life by providing them housing, training, and the required medical and psychological assistance they need to secure a job, build a career, and greatly improve their lives. Dr. Khanna, when he looked at the Post-Incarcerated Juvenile Justice Reformation Act, he saw that it did not really adequately care for ex-offenders and decided he would address this with the returningyouth.com initiative. And we are here today because Dr. Khanna has a huge announcement. And welcome, Dr. Khanna. Welcome, Edward Sargent. Welcome, Raphael. Please put your face on so we can see you. And Clem, thank you. Joel, everybody just join us here. And hello, Raphael. Hello, Clem. Hello, Edward. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Hello.
Hey.
Dr. Khanna, I would like to turn, at this point, I'd like to turn the mic over to you or myself. I guess we have an announcement today. I'm going to give Dr. Khanna a chance to catch up here. We have an announcement today that we are collectively making, Clem Yeboah, myself, and Dr. Khanna, about what the initiative is doing for this country. And, you know, when you think about reducing the recidivism rate in the country, you're not talking about just one city or one county. Really, in order to make it effective, it has to be a nationwide plan. And Dr. Khanna, when you're available, I'd like to just talk about the announcement today that we are going to be rolling out the Dr. Khanna's initiative to 50 states. 50 states. Now, how many counties do you think there are in 50 states? Edward, do you take a guess how many counties there are in the whole country?
If I were to take a guess,
Yeah, just take a guess.
a wild number guess,
Yes,
as many stars as there are in the universe.
that's the correct answer. But actually, it's a little bit less.
Okay.
There are counties, parishes, county equivalents, undocumented areas. Bottom line, 3,142. 3,142.
Learn something.
That's really exciting. And I'm also.
All right.
Are you there, Mr. Dr. Khanna?
I am here. I am here, Dr. Gary.
All right, Dr. Gary, I love it. Listen.
And I do apologize, Mr. Sergeant. I was late to greet you, and thank you very much for joining, Mr. Sergeant. Sometime we would call Brother Eddie.
Brother Eddie.
So,
Brother Eddie, I'll answer to that.
Okay, great. And I do welcome Mr. Rafael Alvarez here. And
he's
also Clem Yeboah. I don't see his face, Clem Yeboah.
There it is. Hey, Clem. Good to see you.
Well, don't ask everybody to unmute because we can't unmute everybody at the same time. Well, I really, my dear audience, thank you very much for having me in this wonderful show. As usual, I want to thank the 30 million, 40 million homes listening to this show on this Friday, 3 p.m. As we are always dedicated for rolling out this returning youth initiative, that is the post-incarcerated young adults, those who are coming out of the jail. We are trying to give them a platform, but this platform is with love and dedication. It's not just give them, just throw some bones, do some favor. No, they are not here to get favors. They're not there for handouts. We are giving them what they deserve. So last Friday, or a Friday before last, we announced a big expansion of this initiative. We recognize in the underserved area, it is not only African Americans, but also Latino group. So we invited, and we invited in the board of this initiative, Rafael Alvarez, who is well recognized in the Latino group, not only in New York, but also in United States. He has all his tentacles all over the Latino group in, like octopus, in this United States. He's a successful businessman. He has done wonderful to this community, and we would like, I'm very glad that I could, convince him to join this initiative, and he is part of this initiative now. So we are concentrating not only African Americans, but also Latino group, because we found out that the recidivism of both these communities are way higher than the normal communities. I don't know what we can call as a normal community, because this country is full of all of us. We are all part of this United States. Well, today is a very special day because I'm not doing this by myself. It was pushed by Mr. Edward Sargent. He said, we can do it. And I said, okay, we'll do it. Well, I cannot clone myself, but we were successful in cloning Gary Scarano times 50. And Edward Sargent decided he will help him for cloning. So we are going to roll out this initiative in 50 states and 3,142 counties. How are we doing it? We don't know, but we are going to do it. So audience, those who are listening to us, we are coming to your county as we speak. But this particular initiative will be, the rollout plan will be led by Gary and assisted by Raphael and Claim in their individual communities. So we are rolling it out. Well, what is there for this community? Or what is there? I'm not going to talk here about that. I think Gary can talk about that because he just finished the rollout plan presentation, and I don't want that presentation to be public yet, but that rollout plan has already been ready, and but Gary can talk about that after I finish. But I would like to see what is Mr. Sargent's reaction of this rollout plan. Are you ready with your skating shoe that you can roll and start rolling to all the 50 states? By the way, Mr. Sargent, one thing if you don't know, today is the day also you heard of, I'm sure everybody, those who are listening and those who are on the studio, they wear shoes. Are you wearing shoe, Mr. Sargent?
Let me see. Let me see what.
Yeah, people work at home, you're never quite sure.
I'm wearing the most comfortable shoes in the world. My house.
Okay, this shoe came from a machine. Some machine makes these shoes, right? You know that people don't make these shoes by hand anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Yeah.
Okay, well, the person who designed this machine and who patented this machine the patent was approved today, long time ago in 1880, 1883, I believe, or 1874, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And that person was from Philadelphia, but he patented and did this machine in Massachusetts. And that machine started making 700 pair of shoes every single day. So today, whatever we are seeing, whatever we are wearing throughout the world, that machine eventually, of course, evolved, but that's today is the day when this patent was approved. So today is a very special day. And why I'm bringing this shoe up here? Because we need the shoe to go to all the 50 states. Correct? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, yes. I love your analogies because for me, I'm a visual learner. And so it works. Anytime somebody conjures up a vision that I can put in my mind, I got it. So I love that. I love your anecdotes and everything. I admire you. You're a street hustler. You're a street hustler, Dr. Khanna. And now you are a state hustler, a county hustler. And I want to, Gary, ask me that question again. I'll show you how sharp I am.
Okay. How many counties are in the United States, Mr. Edward Sargent?
3,142 counties. I have my cheat sheet over here.
Did you pick up that from me? I just told you.
So where are we? First of all, brother, my dear sir, Mr. Alvarez, it's good to see you again. I'm surprised to see you again. I'm good to see you again. You left me with just great energy. Great energy. I was able to go onto the internet and see some of your videos and some of the people you work with and some of your presentations at the convention and receiving awards. And you had your personal story about how you came out of Washington Heights. Okay, right? Right. And Washington Heights.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been there. I've been in and out of New York several times, but I've always had an escort. So, a cousin or whatever. But Washington Heights, I gather, was a place where not everybody made it out of. And so
That is right.
all I can say is we need more people like you to be seen and heard by not just the nation, but the entire world, because the world needs examples like you. That's what I want to say. How do you feel today?
Well, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling very, very happy and excited for this, being part of this project. I believe that what we're doing is something special here. As you said, Mr. Surgeon, I'm a product of my community, and the reality is that, in Washington Heights, a lot of my friends, believe it or not, they either dead or they they might still be in jail. Some of them. It was a very rough neighborhood when I was growing up, but things are changing. Things are doing better over there. But I'm so happy and excited to be part of this, so I can contribute in a positive way to the people that are coming out of jail, and be able to provide a way to be able to provide them jobs and opportunities so they can really grow. I mean, I'm a survivor, thanks to my parents that really, with their wisdom, they pushed me to get a good education. And my dad, I remember my dad, he used to say, my son, when I die, I might not be able to leave you a lot of money,
Uh-huh.
a fortune, but I'm gonna leave you with something that is gonna be so powerful, and so powerful that nobody will be able to take it away from you. And that is a great education. And up to this moment, I mean, I really thanks my dad for what he has really provided us, because he was all about school, education, education, education. So now it is my turn to give back to my community. It is my turn to really contribute in a positive way and helping people to be able to really excel and do well. I'm glad that you were able to see all of those videos, because when I tell people that I was able to build a multi-million-dollar company with $200, two computers, and a fax machine,
Right.
people don't believe me. I don't know why. People think that I'm lying or something like that. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but it's just what I usually tell people, that this is all about being persistent and consistent. And I really want to find a way. I wish that I can bottle all my knowledge and give it to these people that are coming out of jail, so at least one day they can see themselves the way I am, in terms of building a successful business. But the reality is that that cannot be done but we can contribute in a way, providing them the tools, as long as they follow the system that Dr. Khanna is creating, as long as they follow the system, they will be able to excel and do well within their community that they're in. I mean, Gary said it right. I mean, so many, I was surprised to see so many counties and to see the outreach that this organization that Dr. Khanna created that is gonna have, and the impact within all of these communities is gonna be something amazing, and it's gonna be awesome. So I'm very happy and excited. And my job is just to be able to contribute, be able to tap into my Latino community. Believe it or not, this is something that now I'm taking it personal. For me, it's personal because I know how tough it is to grow up in a Latino neighborhood. I mean, it's hard to explain. As a matter of fact, Mr. Surgeon, I'm in a few months, in a couple of months, I will be releasing my first book, in which I really talk about my upgrown, bringing the way I grew up, the way I was able to build this multi-million-dollar company with $200, two computers and a fax machine, and the reality is that this is achievable as long as people follow the system.
What is the title of your book, sir?
The
Yeah,
title of my book is because my father says no.
because your father says no. Hey, listen, Raphael,
Yes.
we're gonna buy a bottle. We're going to manufacture a bottle. We're gonna call Raphael's bottled solution. Okay, because you're gonna put all that knowledge you have, and we're gonna put it in a bottle. We're gonna sell that bottle to post-incarcerated youth. Obviously, I'm not being serious, but we are going to take that knowledge you have, and we are going to ask you to put it in writing. We're going to have to be organized, and we're going to put a process down, and we're going to have to train the trainers and have the trainers train the trainers, and everybody train each other. So we're excited. I have to be honest with you, Raphael, as we were moving forward and we were telling people of our vision, and of course, the most represented minority in prisons and being arrested is the African American community. So there's no argument about those numbers. They are the highest. But when we spoke to people, the next question we got almost immediately asked, and Edward, you asked me that question. I don't know if you remember the very first time we spoke. The question was, what about the Latinx community? What about them? So we're very happy, Raphael, that you're going to be helping us address that community in a way that blesses them. We'll have to talk about ways that we can translate things and speak to them and address them. But unless we address all the minorities, we're not going to be able to solve the issue with recidivism. And before I go on too long, I wanted to ask Clem and your opinion. This announcement just came out from Dr. Khanna, as you know. You and I just found out about it. I'd love to hear your opinion because you're the chairman of Voice of the Kids, and all of the nonprofits donations are going to go through the Voice of the Kids, and we want people in those communities to donate to us because to help those communities. So, Clem, I'd love to hear your opinion of what we're attempting to do here.
Well, I will start off by talking about shoes. In the scripture, it says, how beautiful are the feet of he who brings in good tidings.
Yes.
And what I see is that here we are going to bring in good tidings to 3,142 counties. It's amazing. But this is something that we can't do by our individual selves. This is something that we need the million people to march with us to do this. So bringing in the Latinx community to be part of what we're doing is amazing. We have more than doubled the effort just by this singular action taken by Dr. Khanna. What we need to do is to get them engaged get the communities engaged. And I know that Raphael is the right person to get us to do this. So I'm very excited about it. I'm very happy about it. And like I always say, let it rain upon us. Let it rain upon us. Let it rain upon us.
You know, I appreciate, Clem, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I really appreciate your spiritual connectivity. You bring a certain special root tradition. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, I hear you. I hear you.
School, tried and true, spirited processing of reality. And I just want you to know, I recognize that. And I think it's a great blessing that you are in the mix. Somehow, Dr. Khanna, you're like the sun. You got all these stars around you. How do you do it? What did you do to convince Raphael and Clem to join you? What words did you use?
Well, that's a good
Words,
point.
man, come on.
Do I really need to give out the secret in the public right now?
Hey,
well, if I do, listen, if I do that, then Mr. Surgeon, you won't need me. You don't need me in this show anymore. I'm going to.
Let me say this to you. Here's an example. I'm gonna throw this at you, okay?
That's why I'm gonna.
What if the one and only had thought like you did, we'd all be damned.
Well, now you're
So
putting
you're
me
not the one, all right?
Now you're putting me on spot. Now you're putting me on spot.
Let me tell you what he told me. He chose a few words. One was faith, another was integrity, another was transparency, another was truth. So he had a few choice words. And above all this, he says, in order to be the head, you have to learn how to be a servant. You have to learn how to serve. So that's why he says, I'm a servant of the underserved. And that really was a major influencing factor for me. He is a servant of the underserved. So this whole thing is for us to serve the underserved. That's what brought me in.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much.
I think I really thank Claim for saying those kind words. And well, again, like you brought the Almighty up, there's one person to whom we all are servant of. But the creation which the Almighty did, if we are not going to be the servant of that creation, then we cannot be the servant of God. So I try to serve and remain servant of all of you, because without that, we cannot do anything. So the whole point here is, Mr. Sergeant, you really asked me what attracted people like Raphael and Claim on here. Well, actually, I don't have any attractive voice. I'm not a singer. I'm not a, wish I would be a singer, wish I would be attracting all of you.
He's a dancer.
Okay. Well, Clem said I'm a dancer.
Or celebrity.
Okay. So I'm none of them. I'm just what Clem said, and I'm sure I'm just a servant here trying to serve this wonderful country where we all come here in this country. We all come here in this country and we pound on this Constitution. Okay, this Constitution, the founding fathers of this country, they made it. Why they made it? Because they've put a label here that Constitution, the number one is this, number two this, number three, there's so many things they have done. Because this was a virgin land where we all come here for opportunity. We did come here, okay? This is a land of freedom. This is a land of the brave. How this land of freedom and land of the brave is there when there is no equality, when there is no uniformity, when these people, I know there is a balance. There is a balance between you. You logged off.
It's okay. He's back.
The-
He's back.
There is a balance here. Okay, we need to put in place, and that balance has to, that we got to be fair to everybody. Everybody in this country deserves to be treated fair. Yes, we all make mistakes, and when we make mistake, we are punished. Either we get punished by God or we get punished by the system that country has created. But once we get punished, once we come out of the punishment, we should be treated, and we should get the same treatment before we went in. That's what we are trying to put it here in this initiative. This initiative is nothing new that we cannot do it. We all can do it. We all need to do it. And the audience, those who are hearing me, please help us to roll this initiative. I told you a few months ago that we are going to go to every state, and this is the time. Today is the rollout date. I don't know why this date came today, but there was the reason why it came. Okay, so today is the day. We are rolling this out to all the 50 states. It may not be all the counties at the same time, but at least we would like to roll out one county in each state. That means 50 counties will be represented. We already have in Monroe County. We already are in Union County, New Jersey. We are already in Brooklyn. Okay, we are already in some of the counties. In full-fledged, we are rolling out this every county. We need volunteers. I need volunteers from every state of this United States, every state. And we do have volunteers. We want these volunteers to take power and take this initiative to their community. I cannot do by myself. Mr. Surgeon cannot do by himself. Clem cannot do by himself. Raphael cannot do by himself. And of course, we got to push Gary to do everything. You know why I put Gary? Because he's a runner. He ran with the Olympic torch. One of the, I don't know which year, I forgot the year. Gary, which year was it?
Before you were born, Dr. Khanna, before you were born.
Okay, what, in 1883?
Something like that, yeah,
Okay,
way
good.
a long time ago.
Okay, so that means you guys, you know that I'm still young. Mr. Surgeon, you are also young, because Gary said he's in 1883. That's when the shoe started, that's why he could run. So anyway, you know, we all need to work together here. And I'm going to turn this microphone to Mr. Surgeon, because you are the person who can make this happen with your reporting skill, the pain. Do you know, when I was growing up, everybody said the weapon for this mankind is the pen, P-E-N, the pen, okay? And also they say, think before you ink. There is a reason why there's a think before you ink. Because anything I say here, Mr. Surgeon is going to ink it. As soon as it inks it, it becomes legal, okay? And with today's social media thing, as soon as something gets inked, it goes all over, it goes viral. So today is the day we are viraling this with the blessings of the Almighty and with the blessings of all the listeners, audience on the phone. Okay, I know we all are a believer of one person, that is the Almighty. Okay, so let's roll this out and let's make it successful, so that next year, or at least by the year end of this year, 2021, we should be in every 50 states, if not 3,142 counties, but at least every 50 states would be there. The one important thing that comes with this package is we have partnered with different businesses, those who have franchise model. We are bringing to these counties these businesses along with us. This initiative is coming with this business opportunity, so that we can help these young adults to create jobs, not to be just employed, to create jobs, so that it can be sustainable. Sustainable job creation formula is coming with this package. And also, if I take the opportunity here, I would like to thank Raphael, Gary, and Clem to support me in this initiative. And thanks does not stop going beyond Mr. Sargent and Mr. Sargent with Sharon Drake. Ms. Sharon Drake is, we said, announced before, she is the mother of this initiative. Okay, so she is. So this package comes with the mother's love and Mr. Sargent's pen, and everybody rolls out with this. With this, I'm going to shut up right now, and I'll have Mr. Sargent, Gary to take over and continue with the show.
Thank you, thank you. I know that Ed has some things he wants to talk about, but before we do that, what I'd like to do is just talk specifically about the initiative. We did get a press release out, and I want to just show it on the screen. Again, for those of you who are on the radio, you can see us live at facebook.com/Khanna4kids, facebook.com, Khanna4kids. And here's the key. Look, we're announcing we're going out to 50 states. I do want Clem to expand on what Dr. Khanna just said, but what is the benefit? Why are we doing this? There's got to be some benefit to the communities, because that's really our goal, as you could hear what Dr. Khanna said. So we want to reduce recidivism, the rearrest rate. The rearrest rate nationwide is 55% in 12 months. More than half the people that get out of prison going back in, and the numbers for African Americans and the Latinx community is even higher. So we want to reduce crime because, let's be honest, someone coming out of prison for the first time, if they're going to be rearrested within 12 months, well, they're going to commit a crime, right? Well, that crime could be against you, against your family, against your friends, against your business, against a business in your community. So if we can reduce that person not getting arrested a second time, then we are also reducing crime, reducing racial tensions. We want to streamline the way we work with other associated agencies. There's many agencies in this space that we're touching, different areas. We want to work with them, partner with them, help them, and we want to streamline the results so we improve the results. We want to reduce competition, and we want to improve relationships between all law enforcement and the post-incarcerated youth. If we can accomplish that in one area, we can do that in all areas. So when I say areas, I mean counties. So that's the press release that we're going out. Yes, there is a presentation that has more details that Dr. Khanna mentioned. But Edward, I know that you and I have been talking. I haven't had a chance to talk to you today, but you had asked me if you could read a poem. I believe it's from a post-incarcerated person, someone that's incarcerated today. Is that correct?
Not post. He's currently incarcerated. And I'll get right to the point. I want to segue from what you just said, Gary, as well as Raphael, Clem, and Dr. Khanna, that we have the opportunity to build an American unity within jails and prisons. We have an opportunity to build some unity across the racial lines right inside the prisons. Not, pardon the pun, but we have a captive audience.
Very good.
Pardon the pun. A ready incubator for overcoming racial divisions. If we can do it in prison, we can do it anywhere. There are deep divides, as we all know, among inmates on all kinds of levels. You have the skinheads, you have the Nazis, you have the different gangs in the Hispanic community, Latinx community, and of course, we all know from movies, et cetera, in the Black community. And so there's an opportunity. If we can do it there, we can do it anywhere. And guess what? You know what they have in common? Several things they have in common. We all know that. Everyone needs love. Dr. Khanna, you know that everyone needs love. I don't care who you are. That's part of the human condition, and that's an inroad. That's an opportunity. Now, everybody's not going to receive love. Some people need it in different ways. Then we have to be smart enough, gifted enough to tap in. And I believe it's all about diversity. and variety. It's like a football team or a basketball team. You have I'm looking at the March Madness right now, and you have your dribblers or your ball controllers. You have your tall guys who dunk. That's the whole team. So I think that's what we have, and that's what I see you rolling out, Dr. Khanna.
Mr. Sargent, you brought this word, March Madness. There's a reason why they call March Madness, right?
Tell me why.
Well, there's a reason why they call, and that's exactly what this March Madness happened to me, and we are rolling this up. It's a madness.
Right. There's a lot of stuff going on back and forth.
Exactly. This is a madness. And
good. As John Lewis said, good trouble. So now we have another expression, good madness.
Absolutely. But you know what? I believe in one thing, better late than never. Okay? We got to be doing it. We got to be doing it. This is already end of the first quarter. Okay? It's coming to the end of the first quarter. We got to go. We got to go to every state, because when you talk, I'm sure you've been facing the same thing. When you talk, people say, what is all about me? What is there for me? What is there for me? What is there for me?
Right, sure.
Well, here you go. This is there for you. Here, we're going to give you everything. But you know what? Like I said, this program, this initiative is not a handout program. They have to own it. Every single person has to own it. We have to give them the platform. They have to own it. Just like a farmer, when you give them a field, you give them the tools. You just cannot put the farmers on the field without the tools. So this is exactly what we are doing. And thank you very much, Mr. Sargent, for collaborating with me and my team and giving them the full support. And by saying this, I just send you a text. So, if you don't mind, and in terms of the audience, I would like you to kind of take the lead along with Gary and Raphael and move over the show and give the importance to the audience why this initiative is important, because I got to log off, and I will kind of depend upon you and Gary to move the show to the next stage.
Okay,
Thank you, Dr. Khanna.
Don't forget your shoes, Dr. Khanna.
You know what? Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to get that.
Hey, please join us on returningyouth.com. Please check us out on that website, returningyouth.com. Hey, if you happen to live in a county in the United States, there's only 3,142. I'm sure you live in one of those, and you're interested in helping us reduce recidivism to get people back on their feet. Please call us at 302-746-2311, 302-746-2311, and returningyouth.com. We're here every Friday at 3 o'clock. If you're interested, you can contact us to be a guest. We'd love to interview you. If you have something around that you're interested around the things that we're talking about, which we're expanding out to the whole nation. Now, Edward, I know we've been talking. We want to hear the poem about the person. I think his name is Robert, who's in prison right now. Is that correct?
It's my understanding. And that I found out about it because, we get these emails and invitations to join newsletters. And so, of course, I do pick a few that I think I'm interested in, as far as writing especially. And I got an email from what they call Free Minds. Free Minds is an organization.
Yeah, I think you sent it to me. I saw it, yes. Thank you.
And according to what I can see on the internet, this group's purpose is to bring books into the prisons and create book clubs. And apparently they've been very successful in reaching young inmates. And here's one inmate, apparently, whose poem was posted to that website. And I'm glad I read it. I'm going to share it, especially for the benefit of the audience out there. And here it is. I'm known on a last name basis in a place where numbers come with faces. Will you ever know me on a first name basis? More than the name, I mean. I'm more than a criminal. You see, I once had dreams. Skateboarding and BMX competitions, and once an innocent seed, no impediments to my visions. Then came abuse as a child. My ability suddenly in question. A pure heart defiled. Smiles turned into depression, from selfless to selfish. What have I become? What you consider wrong is normal to some. A bitter life prolonged is easier said than done. So I became an expression of what I felt within. Though innocent were my intentions, my life was filled with sin. Reckless in my behavior because I didn't value self. Putting myself in danger was my cry for help. So I cried and I cried. So did my mother every night. While her tears were literal, mine were more mystical. Mine were more mystical. Thank you. My actions held a deeper meaning, preventing others from seeing a talented kid from being. All he wanted to be, crime gave me meaning. Crime gave me meaning. And a game provided safety until for my pain, there was no more in compensating. It took a precious life just to see how precious mine was. It took a precious life just to see how precious was mine. It took so many squandered years for me to value time. It took me all that doing wrong just to do what's right. It took a cell all alone just so that I could cry. All you have to do is look on your screen for you to make judgments about me. But that will never tell you about the real me. That is the end of that poem. I was really struck by that poem. I don't know anybody who could hear that and not feel the love. This man has found self-love. He's found self-acceptance. He's being totally real and honest with himself. And that is the solution for returning youth, in my humble opinion, is to give men their love, to let them feel love within themselves. Because as you know, when you love yourself, you can love everybody. You walk into a lot of people who really just don't love themselves and they're going to take it out on you. We see it a lot of time. I'm not going to mention any particular areas, but it happens a lot. It happens on the phone, happens on the street. It happens. You can sense, what did I do to this person? Nothing. Nothing. This person is reaching out. He's calling out for love. We do that in many different ways. So I wanted to share that poem. I'm glad you let me share it. I think it speaks for itself.
Thank you.
Anybody want to say anything about the poem?
Well, I think it points to the need that it sounds to me to a certain extent that the person is kind of waking up to what has happened to him. And he kind of sees perhaps what he did wasn't the best. I see a desire to change. I also see a struggle. And I think with the, as you know, Edward, I did speak to this individual. With the proper direction, you know, this person has a desire to turn his life around. He wants to get a good job. He wants to be able to afford things that other people have without doing crime. So that's what I kind of see from this, and our rolling out of this initiative, Dr. Khanna's Returning Youth Initiative, is going to address that. I'd like to change a little bit right now. We've got about 15 minutes left. I want to ask Clem, and then I do want to ask Raphael. Dr. Khanna mentioned our ability to going into these communities, and this is something that we've talked about, not just filling jobs, but creating jobs. And I'd like Clem and then I'd like Raphael, both of you, to talk about how we're going to be doing that. Go ahead, Clem.
Well, first of all, the poem was really an expression of something that is deep inside of this person that has been latent, but now has been awakened. And what that person has to, what we have to do for such a person, and everyone who gets locked up gets to a point where they get that realization. So when they come out, we have to build on this type of foundation and help them to get to the next level. Now, the way we're doing it, we're going into 3,142 counties. We're going to be partnering with local nonprofits, local businesses, the local government, local law enforcement, and community leaders, basically, for everyone to be a part of this movement. Now, specifically, how do we create jobs for these individuals? We're going to be using a franchising model, which focuses on entrepreneurship, where these individuals who have a certain innate quality about the ability to sell, the ability to promote whatever they do, whatever they did before they went into jail, they were good at it. We're going to use the same qualities that they have, ability to sell something on the street corner. That has the entrepreneurial spirit already embedded in them. If they come into a job situation, that now allows them to own a truck, allows them to be moving goods from one place to another place on behalf of somebody else. It is not a structure that is alien to them. They've seen it before. The only thing is what they saw before was on the other side of the law. What we're going to show them is on the positive side of the law and how they can harness these same qualities to make something of themselves and to make something of society. When we go into these communities and we create these jobs for these individuals, what does it do? It reduces crime. It reduces all the concerns the localities have. And all it does is it creates a better society for all of us. So the business format allows them to be occupied with doing something positive for society. For example, if they are in the distribution of flowers, if they're distributing flowers on Valentine's Day, okay, that's a good thing. So we're going to do what we can to ensure that this is, the right thing for everyone to do, and we'll go from there.
I see that Mr. Alvarez is back. Thank you. Are you there, Rafael?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I apologize. My
No.
computer ran out of batteries.
We all rely on that. That's okay. Listen, Clem mentioned, as you know, the franchise model. Now, you have some expertise that we're going to rely on, and we want to hear from you, about the franchise model. But we would like to take that model, and I think, as Clem said this many times, we're not just creating jobs. We're not just filling jobs. Okay, someone has a job. They're in competition for someone who's post-incarcerated or someone who's not post-incarcerated. So they're in competition for a job. What we're trying to do is create a new job. We're trying to instill, as I've interviewed these post-incarcerated youth, I was surprised the percentage of them who express the desire to own something rather than just have a job. You have this experience. You're going to be helping us. Would you mind just expounding on that, Rafael?
Of course, of course. What happened? What happened is this. As you know, one of the best or safe, I should say, business model that exists right now is called the franchising system. A franchising business model, what it does allows people to be able to have the opportunity to establish a business, getting up and running. All they have to do is to follow the system. They don't have much to really, they don't have to reinvent the wheel. So what we're doing is just providing the opportunity to some of these young people when they get out of jail to be able to, number one, provide them a job. Providing a job with the condition that if they work hard and they do well and they are seriously interested, they will be able to own this franchising business. That's really the key here. So to Dr. Cam's, system that will be able to continue getting the proper training, getting the proper support, getting all of those additional services at the same time that they have a job that allows them to produce and generate income to be able to buy food, buy clothing, pay, the bills, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, the most important thing is to create and give people the opportunity to be able to be their own bosses, to be able to own their own, own their own businesses. And believe me, I've been doing this for almost 15 years, franchising specifically. Um, what franchises is gonna do for them is to really get from point A to point B a lot faster because it's a system. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. They don't have to do all the thinking. All they have to do is to learn the system and really do it well. That's all. And what we're doing is providing the tools. What I'm doing is working with Dr. Khanna, working with Clem and the rest of the team to be able to help and assist, helping providing the structure and be able to identify Latino, let's say specifically, we're going to focus on the Latino community, Latino businesses that are franchisable, that we can take it all over the country. It
Yes.
could be a florist, it could be a beauty salon. I mean, a lot of Latinos that like to own that kind of business. It could be even a bodega. I mean, I don't know if there is any bodega business that has been franchised. I don't recall anyone, but the idea is that we're going to have a platform to be able to help anyone that already have a successful business model, take it, replicate it, and then place it in every single county that you guys been talking about.
That's
to be
great.
able to allow the young people as soon as they get out of jail to be able to have the opportunity. What we're doing is creating a pool of jobs, right?
We're gonna take a bodega, right? We're gonna take a bodega there.
Yeah,
Hey,
bodega.
you mentioned a couple of things I think I would like to highlight. Number one, don't recreate the wheel. I'd like to have an open conversation. I like that idea. People would like to own their own business, but starting from scratch isn't easy. And number two, the thing you mentioned is people they don't want to report to a boss. They want to own their own company. They want to have their own entrepreneurial spirit. Those are the two things that we, with Dr. Khanna's initiative, is going to tap in every community. We want to connect to people who have, mostly post-incarcerated people, who have a desire to own, have a desire to expand, and have a desire to learn. So with that as a background, Ed, do you have any comment on that?
Well, yeah, I always say why reinvent something that's already been invented. Follow the model. I am someone who actually does believe in following models. I look for a model. For instance, in any document I do that's new and from scratch, I always look for a model. Why should I create something brand new? Now, there's nothing wrong with creating brand new. That's how you create models. But certainly, there's a time and a place to equip our people out there in America, throughout the world, who need help with something to get a leg up and a leg in, a system that works. And Raphael is a perfect example of it making work, so nobody can say it can't work for them. If you can start a business with $200 in a fax, there's no excuse for you. So yeah, I believe.
I can tell you, Ed, that I remember about 10 years ago when someone approached me. This person wanted to get into a business, and she basically enrolled in one of the class that I was teaching, wanted to make some extra bucks. And I saw an opportunity for her to be able to own a franchise. And I said, hey, would you be interested to be your own boss? And this lady, believe it or not, she didn't have, I don't even think that she had finished. She had no college degree. I'm not even sure if she graduated from high school. She has speaking broken English, but she has that ability of, she had a dream. She really wanted to be her own boss. She was sick and tired of working at a J.C. Penney warehouse in the middle of rural Pennsylvania in the Lehigh Valley. And all I did was to plant on her mind that she had the ability to be her own boss and be able one day to say goodbye to her job. That's all I did. And what she replied back to me, she said, listen, I have worked hard all my life. As long as you provide me the tools, the training, and the support, I'm going to be your number one franchisee. And that's exactly what that lady did. So I'm telling you this because I've seen it happen. I've seen taking people with zero business knowledge, zero, never. Like in that case, the lady never had any business experience, zero business experience, never had any business, never employed people. She was just a regular factory worker. She used to work in a J.C. Penney warehouse. And she went from being an employee in a matter of months, technically, to be her own boss, running and operating her own business, and managing a few people that were now working for her. So,
Thank
so
you,
it is
Rafael.
it is doable. It is
You see,
doable.
you have the experience. We have just about a minute and 10 seconds left. Listen,
Thank you.
if you live in a county, and I think most Americans do, and if you don't live in a county and you live in a state, well, okay, that's good enough for us. Please contact us. If you know post-incarcerated youth that needs help, if you want to help us, because we are going to need help, we're going to need volunteers. In addition to the offices that we're going to be putting in every one of these counties, at least that's the plan, we have to house post-incarcerated youth in houses. We're looking to get houses. We're looking to connect with people to secure houses and put 5 to 10 post-incarcerated youth in a house. So if we're looking to connect with different local organizations, we want to do that. So please contact us at contactk.com, 302-746-2311, 302-746-2311, returningyouth.com. Thank you. Join us on facebook.com, Khana for Kids, the number 4 kids, every Friday at 3 p.m. Thank you.